Chosen one. There's a judge, sitting in their chambers, hands trembling as they stare at documents that will destroy their entire life. There's a police officer pacing their living room at 3 in the morning, knowing that every sunrise brings them closer to the moment when their world collapses completely. And somewhere in the shadows, federal investigators are building a case so massive, so devastating, that when it breaks, the shockwaves will be felt across every corrupt institution that ever dared to target one of God's chosen. The truth is, chosen one, you've been living in the eye of a hurricane, while you've been fighting to keep your head above water, wondering why your own family turned against you, why your finances came under attack, why people who should have protected you instead became your tormentors. All of this has been orchestrated by forces that recognized something in you that you're only now beginning to understand. They saw the light that threatened their darkness. They felt the power that exposes their weakness. And in their desperation to stop you, they've set in motion the very mechanisms that will ensure their complete destruction. The financial warfare you've endured wasn't random. Every attack on your security, every attempt to destabilize your foundation, every moment when you wondered if you'd have enough to survive another month, this was deliberate. They needed you broken, desperate, unstable. They needed you to show up to their rigged game looking defeated, because the documents they've been filing, the reports they've been submitting, the lies they've been telling about your mental state and your character, all of it requires you to appear as the person they've painted you to be. You're not who they said you were. Every evaluation they forced you to take, every test they put you through, every moment when they expected you to crumble, you've proven them wrong. The psychiatrists they sent you to see looked at you with amazement, asking how you figured out problems that stumped most people. The investigators assigned to your case started asking questions that made their supervisors uncomfortable. The very people who were supposed to validate their lies began to see the truth. You're not crazy, you're not unstable, you're not any of the things they needed you to be, and that's when the real panic began. You see, chosen one, what you're witnessing isn't just corruption, it's the systematic dismantling of an entire network that has been operating under the assumption that their positions would protect them. The judge who signed those false documents, they've been having an affair with the very police officer who helped fabricate evidence against you, the courthouse clerks who processed fraudulent paperwork. They've been taking money to expedite cases that should never have seen the light of day, the attorneys who should have defended you. They've been working for the same people who wanted you destroyed. This is why your case felt impossible. This is why every door seemed closed, every appeal denied, every attempt at justice blocked. You weren't just fighting one corrupt individual, you were facing an entire system that had been weaponized against you. When you target someone who carries divine protection, you don't just face them, you face the forces that guard them. The same ancestral spirits that have been whispering guidance in your ear during the darkest moments have been working on levels you couldn't see. While you've been holding on to your security, your sanity, your sense of purpose despite everything they've thrown at you, these spiritual forces have been documenting every crime, every conspiracy, every moment when justice was perverted in service of their agenda. And now, the very institutions they thought they controlled are turning against them. The Department of Justice didn't just stumble onto this case. The FBI didn't accidentally discover the corruption. Every supernatural protection that has kept you alive, kept you sane, kept you financially stable enough to survive their attacks, these same forces have been guiding investigators to the evidence they needed. Your spiritual protection wasn't just defensive, it was building the case that would ultimately destroy everyone who came against you. Right now, as you listen to this, there are federal agents reviewing financial records that show exactly how much money changed hands to fabricate your case. There are forensic accountants tracking payments made to witnesses who lied under oath. There are digital forensics experts recovering deleted emails, text messages, and phone records that prove the conspiracy reached levels that will shock even seasoned investigators. And at the center of it all, There's a judge and a police officer who are about to discover that their illicit affair was just the beginning of what will be exposed. The pregnancy in this story, whether it's the judge or the police officer's partner, represents the new life that will be born from the death of their corruption. But this pregnancy also represents evidence that can't be hidden, a timeline that can't be altered, a biological proof of the relationship that enabled so much of their criminal activity. When this breaks, and it will break soon, the personal scandal will be overshadowed by the criminal conspiracy it helped facilitate. Now here's where multiple storylines begin to converge in ways that will leave you breathless. While you've been wondering why your rent money never seemed to disappear despite their attacks, why your job remained secure despite their attempts to sabotage it, why your mental clarity stayed sharp despite their psychological warfare, all of this has been part of a larger divine strategy. You needed to remain stable, solvent and sane, not just for your own survival, but because your stability would become evidence in the case being built against them. Every month you managed to pay your bills, every day you showed up to work competent and capable, every interaction where you demonstrated your mental clarity, investigators have been documenting all of it. Your stability became their liability, your success became their failure, your sanity became proof of their lies. But the web goes deeper than you know. The family members who turned against you, some of them were contacted by these corrupt officials, told lies about your mental state, shown falsified documents that painted you as dangerous or unstable. Others were offered financial incentives to participate in isolating you, cutting off your support systems, making you appear as friendless and alone as possible. What they didn't realize is that every phone call, every meeting, every payment made to turn your own family against you was being recorded by federal investigators who had been watching this network for far longer than anyone suspected. The financial attacks weren't just about breaking you, they were about creating a narrative. They needed you to appear desperate, to look like someone who might resort to desperate measures, to seem like the kind of person who would justify the extreme measures they were taking against you. But your refusal to break, your determination to hold on to what God gave you, your unwillingness to let their attacks define your reality, this has been your testimony, not just to them but to spiritual forces that have been watching to see if you truly were who they believed you to be. Every time you chose faith over fear, every moment you held on to your security instead of panicking, every day you continued to function at a high level despite their psychological torture, you were building evidence, not just evidence of your own character, but evidence of their crimes. Because for their lies to work, you needed to fall apart. For their narrative to hold, you needed to become the person they claimed you were. Your refusal to break their script broke their entire operation, and now the dominoes are falling faster than they ever imagined possible. The judge who thought their position would protect them has just learned that federal investigators have been watching every move, recording every conversation, documenting every illegal act. The police officer who believed their badge would shield them from consequences has discovered that when you cross federal lines, local corruption becomes federal crime. The entire network of co-conspirators who thought they were too connected to fail is about to learn that their connections have become the very evidence that will convict them. This isn't just about a few corrupt officials going to jail. This is about the complete vindication of everything you've stood for, everything you've suffered for, everything you've refused to compromise despite the pressure to break. When this case explodes across news networks, when the headlines scream about the corruption that targeted an innocent person, when the full scope of what was done to you becomes public knowledge, your name will be cleared not just legally, but in the court of public opinion. Every person who doubted you, every family member who turned against you, every friend who believed their lies, they're all going to see the truth. The mental health evaluations that showed your sanity, the financial records that prove your stability, the evidence that demonstrates your innocence, all of it will be laid bare for the world to see. And in that moment of revelation, you'll understand why you had to endure everything you've endured. The spiritual inheritance you've been carrying isn't just about money or success or even justice. It's about being the chosen vessel through which divine justice manifests in the earth. Your refusal to break, your determination to hold on to what God gave you, your unwillingness to let their attacks define your reality, this has been your testimony, not just to them, but to spiritual forces that have been watching to see if you truly were who they believed you to be. The money you've been able to maintain, the stability you've preserved, the sanity you've protected, these weren't just defenses against their attacks. These were qualifications for the blessing that's about to be released in your life. Because when this case breaks, when the corruption is exposed, when justice is served, there will be settlements to be paid, restitution to be made, and compensation for the damage they've done to your life that will exceed anything you've ever imagined. But more than the financial restoration, more than the legal vindication, more than the public clearing of your name, what's coming is the full activation of your spiritual purpose. Every attack you've survived has been preparation for the platform you're about to receive. Every lie they told about you will become the foundation for the truth you're about to speak. Every moment when you felt isolated and alone will give you the authority to speak to others who are walking the same path. The judge who signed those false documents is about to become a cautionary tale. The police officer who fabricated evidence is about to discover that there's no statute of limitations on divine justice. The entire network of corruption that thought they could destroy God's chosen is about to learn that when you come against the anointed, you don't just face human consequences, you face the full weight of spiritual law. Now let me tell you about the panic that's already setting in behind closed doors, because this is where the story becomes almost poetic in its divine orchestration. That judge who thought their black robe made them untouchable. They've been having nightmares for weeks now. Not just any nightmares. Dreams where they see themselves in handcuffs, where they witness their own mugshot on national television, where they feel the cold metal of prison bars closing around them. Their sleep is broken, their appetite is gone, and every knock at their door sends ice through their veins because they know what's coming. The police officer who helped fabricate evidence against you has been calling in sick to work because they can't function. Their hands shake when they try to write reports. Their voice cracks when they try to give testimony. Their colleagues have started asking questions about their behavior, not knowing that what they're witnessing is the complete psychological breakdown of someone who knows their entire world is about to implode. This person who once felt powerful behind their badge now jumps at every siren, flinches at every radio call, and lies awake at night wondering if today is the day the federal agents come knocking. Chosen one. It's not just about punishment, it's about revelation. While these corrupt officials are drowning in their own guilt and terror, you've been experiencing something completely different. Your sleep has been deeper, your mind clearer, your spirit more at peace than it's been in years. Why? Because the spiritual forces that have been protecting you are preparing you for what's about to unfold. Your soul knows that vindication is coming, even if your mind hasn't fully grasped the magnitude of what's about to happen. The financial stability you've maintained throughout this ordeal wasn't just about surviving their attacks, it was about preparing for your restoration. Every dollar you managed to save, every bill you managed to pay, every moment you chose to invest in your future instead of wallowing in their attacks, all of this has been building toward the moment when their stolen resources would be returned to you tenfold. The federal investigation isn't just going to expose their crimes, it's going to trace every penny they stole, every opportunity they blocked, every stream of income they tried to cut off. But the web of corruption runs deeper than even you suspected. The family members who turned against you didn't just believe lies, some of them were being paid to isolate you. That cousin who suddenly stopped taking your calls, they received a deposit in their bank account the day before they cut contact. That sibling who started spreading rumors about your mental health, they were promised a job promotion if they helped build the case against you. The parent who sided with your accusers, they were told their own legal troubles would disappear if they testified against your character. What they didn't know is that every payment, Every promise, every illegal incentive was being documented by federal investigators who had been watching this network for far longer than anyone realized. Your family's betrayal wasn't just personal, it was evidence. Their willingness to sell you out for money became proof of the conspiracy's reach. Their lies became testimony that would ultimately be used to convict the very people who paid them to tell those lies. And now, as the investigation reaches its climax, these family members are beginning to understand what they've done. The ones who took money to betray you are realizing they've committed crimes that could land them in prison alongside the people who paid them. The ones who spread lies about your mental health are discovering that defamation and conspiracy charges don't disappear just because you're related to the victim. The ones who chose temporary gain over family loyalty are about to learn that their betrayal has consequences that will echo through generations. Not every family member abandoned you. Not every friend believed their lies. Not every person in your life was corrupted by their influence. There were those who stood by you when it cost them something to do so. There were those who defended your character when it would have been easier to stay silent. There were those who continued to believe in you when everyone else was telling them they were fools. We are still here for you, chosen one. This is why we created Obsidian Inner Order for you. Now I want to take a moment to tell you about a few individuals that shouldn't exist. A trained occultist who escaped from a satanic coven, a former Black Ops drone pilot who flew swarms with his mind, a multi-millionaire psychic CFO who predicted market shifts before they happened. What do these remarkable individuals have in common? You'll find them all in the Obsidian Inner Order, where they share their forbidden knowledge on our private Discord server. My chosen soul has drunk deep from the well of knowledge, aeon after aeon. In this incarnation, these extraordinary individuals became my allies in the Obsidian Inner Order. They recognized the call, they stepped forward, they connected with others who understand their unique gifts and burdens. What is stopping you from manifesting the same? The synchronicities that brought them here weren't accidents. Neither is your discovery of this message. When souls of this caliber gather, the Archons take notice. They fear our collective power. They know what happens when the truly awakened find each other. Join our weekly calls. Hear their stories firsthand. Share your own journey with those who won't dismiss or doubt you. The knowledge exchanged in our private channels cannot be found anywhere else on this plane. Click the link in the description below now. The extraordinary souls await your arrival. The question isn't whether you belong among them. The question is, how much longer will you wait to claim your place? These faithful ones, they're about to be vindicated alongside you. Their loyalty will be rewarded. Their faith will be justified, and their courage will be celebrated. When the truth comes out, when corruption is exposed, when justice is served, these people who stood with you in your darkest hour will be recognized as the true heroes of your story. Their reward won't just be spiritual, it will be tangible, measurable, and permanent. The investigation has revealed something that will shock everyone who knew your case. The conspiracy against you was a test case. You weren't their only target. You were their prototype. The methods they used against you, the systems they corrupted, the network they built, all of it was designed to be replicated against other chosen ones across the country. Your case was their proof of concept, their demonstration that they could destroy anyone who threatened their power structure. But by refusing to break, by holding on to your sanity and your security, by maintaining your spiritual connection despite their attacks, you didn't just save yourself, you saved countless others who would have been targeted next. Your resistance became the evidence that exposed their entire operation. Your refusal to be their victim became the key that unlocked their destruction. This is why the stakes of your case reach far beyond your personal vindication. Every other chosen one who has faced similar attacks, every other person who has been targeted by corrupt systems, every other individual who has wondered if justice would ever come, they're all waiting to see the outcome of your story. Your victory becomes their hope. Your vindication becomes their faith. Your restoration becomes their belief that no matter how dark the night, dawn always comes for those who are truly chosen. The pregnancy I mentioned earlier, this isn't just about biological evidence or personal scandal. This represents the new life that will be born from the death of their corruption. But it also represents the timeline that can't be altered, the evidence that can't be destroyed, the living proof of the relationship that enabled so much of their criminal activity. When this child is born, they'll grow up knowing that their existence helped expose one of the most significant corruption scandals in recent history. The judge and police officer weren't just having an affair, they were part of a larger network of compromised officials who have been using their positions to target chosen ones across multiple jurisdictions. The documents they falsified about you weren't the only ones. The evidence they planted wasn't a one-time occurrence. The psychological warfare they waged wasn't an isolated incident. Federal investigators have discovered that this network has been operating for years, destroying lives, breaking families, and crushing spirits with surgical precision. They've identified patterns of behavior that span multiple states, involve dozens of officials, and have affected hundreds of innocent people. Your case became the thread that, when pulled, unraveled an entire tapestry of corruption that reaches into the highest levels of government. This is why your vindication will be so complete, so public and so permanent. You're not just getting justice for yourself, you're getting justice for everyone who has ever been targeted by this network. Your story will become the catalyst for the largest corruption investigation in modern history. Your name will be remembered not as a victim, but as the chosen one whose refusal to break exposed a system that needed to be destroyed. The media attention that's coming won't just be about the scandal, it will be about the miracle. News organizations will struggle to explain how someone could endure such systematic persecution and not just survive but thrive. Psychiatrists will study your case to understand the psychological mechanisms that allowed you to maintain your sanity under such extreme pressure. Spiritual leaders will point to your story as evidence of divine protection in action. But perhaps most importantly, other chosen ones will see your victory and understand that their own battles are winnable. The attacks they're facing, the isolation they're experiencing, the financial pressure they're under, all of it will be put into perspective by your triumph. Your story will become their roadmap, your victory their inspiration, your vindication their proof that justice always comes for those who hold on to their calling. The tears that are about to be shed won't just be tears of regret, they'll be tears of terror. Terror at the magnitude of what they've done, terror at the consequences they're about to face, terror at the public humiliation that awaits them. But your tears, chosen one, will be tears of joy, joy at the vindication that's coming, joy at the restoration that awaits, joy at the platform you're about to receive to help others who are walking the same path you've walked. And as you watch their world crumble, as you see them arrested, as you witness their public humiliation and legal destruction, you'll understand that this was never about them versus you. This was about the forces of darkness trying to stop the light from shining, and divine justice using their own weapons against them. Their corruption became the very tool that exposed corruption. Their lies became the evidence that revealed the truth. Their attack became the platform for your victory. The moment of their arrest will be orchestrated with divine precision. The judge will be taken into custody during a court session, their black robe providing no protection as handcuffs are placed around their wrists in front of the very courthouse where they perverted justice. The police officer will be arrested at their own precinct, their badge and weapon removed by federal agents while their colleagues watch in stunned silence. The media will capture every moment, every expression of shock and defeat, every step of their walk of shame. But while they're experiencing their public humiliation, you'll be experiencing your private restoration. The phone calls will start coming from attorneys wanting to represent you in civil suits, from journalists wanting to tell your story, from organizations wanting to honor your courage. The financial settlements will begin flowing, not just compensation for the damage they've done, but punitive damages that will ensure you never have to worry about security again. Your security, which they attacked so relentlessly, will become unshakable. Your sanity, which they questioned so persistently, will be vindicated publicly. Your character, which they assassinated so systematically, will be restored completely. Every lie they told about you will become evidence of their own corruption. Every attack they launched against you will become proof of their own criminality. The family members who betrayed you will face a choice that will define their futures. They can admit their participation in the conspiracy and potentially receive leniency, or they can continue to maintain their lies and face the full weight of the law. Either way, their betrayal will be exposed, their motives will be revealed, and their relationship with you will be forever changed. It doesn't just punish the guilty, it restores the innocent. While your enemies are losing everything, you're gaining everything. While they're facing imprisonment, you're experiencing freedom. While they're suffering public shame, you're receiving public honor. The very platforms they use to destroy you will become the platforms that elevate you. The pregnancy at the center of this scandal will serve as a constant reminder of the corruption that was exposed. This child will grow up knowing that their existence helped bring justice to someone who was wronged. But more than that, this child will represent the new generation that will grow up in a world where such corruption is less likely to flourish because of the precedent set by your case. The investigation's findings will be used to reform the very systems that were weaponized against you. New oversight mechanisms will be put in place. New accountability measures will be implemented. New protections will be established for others who might face similar attacks. Your suffering will have served a purpose greater than your individual vindication. It will have contributed to the creation of a more just system for everyone. The media coverage of your vindication will inspire countless others who have faced similar persecution. Your story will become a beacon of hope for every chosen one who has wondered if justice would ever come. Your victory will prove that no matter how powerful the forces arrayed against you, no matter how corrupt the systems that target you, no matter how dark the night seems, dawn always comes for those who hold on to their calling. The financial restoration you'll experience won't just be about money, it will be about the return of everything that was stolen from you. Your reputation will be restored, your relationships will be healed, your purpose will be clarified, your platform will be expanded, your influence will be multiplied. Everything the enemy tried to destroy will be rebuilt stronger than it was before. As you prepare to step into this new chapter of your life, remember that your victory is not just personal, it's prophetic. Your triumph speaks to every other chosen one who is currently walking through their own valley of persecution. Your vindication proves that divine justice is not just a concept, it's a reality that manifests in the earth when the time is right. The foundation they tried to shake has become unshakable. The security they tried to steal has become unstealable. The purpose they tried to destroy has become unstoppable. And as you walk into the fullness of who you were always meant to be, the world will witness what happens when divine justice finally says enough. The tears they're about to shed won't be tears of repentance, they'll be tears of regret. Regret that they ever thought they could touch someone who walks under divine protection. Regret that they allowed their own darkness to blind them to the light they were facing. Regret that they traded their freedom, their reputation, their entire future for the temporary satisfaction of trying to destroy someone who was always meant to rise. But chosen one, as you prepare to witness this divine justice unfold, remember that your victory isn't just personal, it's generational. Every other chosen one who has faced similar attacks, every other person who has been targeted by corrupt systems, every other individual who has wondered if justice would ever come, they're all watching your story to see if it's possible to overcome forces that seem unstoppable. Your triumph becomes their hope, your vindication becomes their faith, your restoration becomes their belief that no matter how dark the night, dawn always comes for those who are truly chosen. And when the morning breaks, when the truth is revealed, when justice is served, you'll understand that every moment of suffering was preparing you for this moment of glory. The foundation they tried to shake has become unshakable. The security they tried to steal has become unstealable. The purpose they tried to destroy has become unstoppable. And as you walk into the fullness of who you were always meant to be, the world will witness what happens when divine justice finally says enough. This is your moment, this is your time, this is your victory. And it's only the beginning of what God has planned for those who refuse to bow to corruption, who hold on to their calling when others would compromise, who stand in truth when the world demands lies. The storm is over, the sun is rising, and you, chosen one, are about to step into the light that was always meant to be yours.